Alright, so now we've got this entire run here all sealed off nicely with the pure black foam. You can see that nice bead we have running all along there, closing that all off so the bats can't slip in there. And the product, speaking of it here, it's pure black foam. It's a, like I refer to it as a wildlife control, pest control foam, but you can tell I've got a short little gun here. I think that's got a 14-inch barrel. And then I've got this this beast over here that has it's much longer. I think it might be, I don't know, I want to say I think it's like 3 or 4 feet long. Anyways, that one there is nicer for harder to reach areas because the cans actually, when you spray these things, the cans have to be basically in an upright position, such as this. You gotta treat and apply the foam this way, the can upwards on top of the gun. Cannot apply it this way. You won't get any kind of air pressure, and you'll wind up running out of air and leaving a lot of the material still inside the can. So sometimes the tops of these cans gets in the way when you're up on top working under soffit runs and dormer returns and things like that. So that longer barrel is real nice to get into those small tight cracks. Plus also you can move the ladder just a little bit less if you can safely do so with a little bit longer reach versus obviously having the shorter one. And after you apply the foam, I did my test beads here to see how thick it was or how wide it was going to come out. And a little bit this is going to dry. It's nice and hard and pretty resilient. Lasts for a long time if you want it to. And so right there is just some of the test blobs we put on this black driveway. And they'll dry here in a few minutes, and then I'll flake them off and toss them in my truck, and the customer will have no idea they were even here. So anyways, we can walk around the house here. This home here's got some has some dormers on it. Anytime you got dormers, you got to be aware of like those dormer return areas right there. Over here, it's hard to see. We got the sun in our eyes, but you got a couple right there on both sides of those dormers. And then this is going to be direct sun over here. And then over here, we got some significant openings. It's very hard to see in the sun, but I was able to look with binoculars earlier before it got real bright out here and see there's an opening there. And then when we walk around over here, you know, we want to be aware of obviously both sides of the chimney. Up there's a little bit of a dark smear under that soffit right in front of where the chimney bricks meet the soffit. That's from a bat that's resting there on those bricks. That's what that's from. They leave an oil deposit on those bricks. There's also some crystallized bat urine there coming out of those bricks, so that's likely an entry point for bats we're going to have to address right there. And then as we come over here, we actually try to get in the shade. There's no shade here, unfortunately. We actually have a bat up there resting. He's right there, and he just came out to hang out, get some fresh air. The attic is probably quite hot, so he's just hanging out on the side of the building. He could be going in and out there behind where his bud is right now. I'm not sure. We'll check that out later. But it could be the other side, or it could be the other opposite side of the house where I just excluded all the bats, or it could be the back side of this chimney where we see that the crystallized bat urine coming down. So I'm 90% sure he's a bat that's living here in this house. So he's at least one that's in this home. And we did have some guano inside in the various second story attic areas, so we know there's a presence of bats in this home, obviously. So that's basically it for this. We can walk around to the back of the house. There's actually a second chimney here, and that second chimney we've got to pay attention to, again, both sides where the soffits meet that. And then if we step back, we're going to have to go on the roof. We're going to check out both sides of that dormer as well and verify there's no openings. We're going to look for crystallized bat urine on the shingles under those little shady areas right there on that overhang. We're also going to look for, if we go 2 or 3 days without any rain, we're going to look for some bat guano up there on that side and the other side as well. And if so, we're going to set some tubes up there as well, if necessary, around this chimney. And I think we're going to do at least one tube over here by this chimney as well. So it's very important you do a complete job. You can't just do like 3 or 4 openings because the customer's on a budget or because you're in a hurry, because you aren't going to fix the bat problem. That's just basically putting stitches on something that needs, or putting a band-aid on something that needs stitches. or just relying on a splint on something that needs a cast. You can't do it half-assed. You got to do all the required areas and make sure you do it right. This house here also has a ridge vent on it. They can be problematic for bats as well. I have no reason to believe they are. This is a newer roof. It looks like it's in great shape, but I will go up on a ladder and I will check the integrity of that roof, that ridge vent as well, before we're done, and make sure that no attention is needed there. So, all right, that's basically it. Since I thought I was just doing one bat opening, I only set aside about an hour and a half for this service, but it's very apparent we need a little more work on here. So we're going to reschedule probably a 3 to 4 hour service next week to come out here and do it completely. Another thing I just noticed too, a little bit of a concern here is I've got like a notched out section here that can allow some kinds of critters and insects to get in the house as well. Probably not so much bats, but certainly that should be fixed to seal off something to prevent insect and rodent and small animal entry at that point there. So anyways, that's basically it. Thanks for checking out my video. Gotta head out. I've got raccoons and feral cats to deal with next, so thank you very much.